What's
Ladies
up,
and
everybody?
gentlemen, the villain, villain,
We're
the villain.
reviewing the villain.
Interesting.
Man,
Wow.
that was something else.
That was something. You gotta
I
kind
was
of.
not expecting
No.
that. And that was a good surprise for the most part. I was like
I-
taken aback at
I
where
don't
the
know. This movie
the
is
plot-
a strange one.
This
When
is
I
a strange
try to-
one. I'll say this. It definitely did not hold. I said this in the review. It didn't really pull punches. Like
yeah.
when they did something, they did it.
Yeah,
like,
they went.
When they're gonna kill Dad, it wasn't one of these like fakey. Oh, is he gonna die? The dude killed him.
He died. Yeah,
Right?
there was they never.
The villain
pulled the
stood
punches.
out as
Yeah,
the
as the
like,
stand
most
out.
Yeah,
That
guy was
actor,
psychopath. Yeah.
disturbing.
he was really good for that role. He was
Rakesh, or the guy who played Rakesh.
Ritesh. Even,
Ritesh.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
that
he's
guy.
got a very serious.
Face.
Yeah,
His
very
face is
scary,
just-
like his
expressive.
You
his
can just-
demeanor and
Yeah, you can lose it in his face.
yeah, just his eyes are scary.
Yeah,
I
they
mean, like,
really are. He's got like a
he's
very
got
like
a good
cold.
villain
You know what he kind of has? He
vibe.
kind of has Jesse Plemons vibe.
Yeah,
like,
he did kind of have
Cold
Yeah.
without emotion, but really good at that role.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think it was
He
interesting.
definitely stood out.
The main
Definitely.
actor was very much, or at least the way they directed him to be was very much.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we know is it what's his
Wait, go down.
name
We've
again? Siddharth?
seen him. What's
Siddharth?
the latest movie? What's
He
the
was
other
really
movie?
good in
Siddharth?
Kapoor and Sons.
Siddharth. Oh yeah, he was so good. He showed a lot. I think a lot
More range
emotion.
in that
Yeah.
movie.
In
So
range.
I
Yep.
think they really they
Oh,
said
Shersha. He was in Shersha.
Shersha, yeah.
Yeah.
He showed a lot
But
more
in
range in
Kapoor,
those
he
movies,
was.
but
Yeah.
they really
They-
just said, hey, just look very, very somber at
Yeah.
all times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
unfortunately, it was pretty one note with him.
Very one note.
Up and even at near the end, it was.
He really
it was
did
still
not.
pretty one note.
He didn't really say anything. He was just like.
Yeah,
No,
looking
he was just
intense.
a brooding character and then a sorrowful
Especially the
character,
song
yeah.
at the beginning where he's just like in the background, just staring at the girl.
Which is where
going,
the
Yeah.
villain role it really stood out because of its jarring performance,
Yeah,
where it
yeah.
wasn't just a one note person. It was still maybe one note, but it was
Yeah.
purposeful and it was very.
Yeah, and
powerful.
Yeah.
there was some rationale behind the killers.
Yeah,
like,
I
thought
actually,
patterns. That was
to be honest, I
interesting.
thought that was really, I thought that was really well done. His motives, and then also like
Yep.
how they, in a way, they were kind of alike in certain ways, where it's like they,
Sure.
I don't know, they were both kind of villains at one point.
Yep.
I mean, they were both villains, and it was interesting to see the similarities.
Yep.
But then there were also some major differences between
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
So I thought that was really interesting.
Every man is
how
a
they-
beast in him.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
man, that was an interesting line. There were some
Yeah, this movie
lines
was so
in this.
strange. It was really, really like music video esque for like
in certain parts. Yeah,
the parts where they were actually
Yep.
were music videos.
Yep. Yep.
But then,
we-
it was so strange. There were some strange like vibes in like from the songs that were played or
Yep.
that didn't really fit the tone sometimes.
The music threw
I
us
would
off
say
a bit.
the
Yeah.
thing is, I would say though, like that's something we have to come to expect though in like a Bollywood film, just because like there's gonna be music in these films, and you just kind of gotta.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
kind of
of
like
course,
it's kind of like the interval, and the music's going. It's when people get popcorn and stuff. I've heard that's what the comments were saying. Like that's so like you just kind of have to like
Right.
separate that from the story a little bit.
Well, yeah, and
that's
I'll say
what I've had to. I mean, that's what
yeah.
in these other movies. It's like you don't really tie the music.
I don't know.
To
I
the
feel like I've
story.
seen Indian movies that have been very well balanced in terms of the music choices and stuff, and where you don't notice like the. I guess it just depends on the style. I guess would be the big thing.
Yeah. I mean, luckily it wasn't that long of a movie. It was nice
very
and short.
good, yeah.
It kept it short.
The
and sweet.
strangest 1 hour like.
Yep.
We thought the climax.
We didn't
of the
know where it
film
was going to end. Yeah,
was-
yeah.
And then
I mean,
yeah,
I
that
would
was
say
very
too.
strange.
I actually think I think this movie had really strong parts. Like the beginning was solid.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
It just kept moving. Like, that was so cool. Just to see us, we're like not stopping this whole time. We're like, what is going on?
Yep.
I like that beginning part because we're leaned in. I like being leaned in a movie where I'm like, I'm trying to understand what's happening.
You piece together and you don't know what's happening.
Yeah, but that's kind of fun.
I commented too. I was like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, I kind of like that though in a movie because they haven't given you all the pieces yet. They're just kind of throwing you in there and then you slowly figure it out.
Yep.
I think that's a cool spot to start off at.
This movie definitely did kind of fill in slowly their love story and the pieces kind of. But I think for me at least, and this is kind of like us talking about it kind of gives away our ratings in the end. But like for me at least, by the time it actually filled in the pieces, I was a little bit checked out in terms of like, I don't know, really true emotional connection and things like that.
I think what's interesting too, this is at least what my feeling was from it, is that I thought that they had a really strong first hour almost. Like the first half was really strong. And I think the second half, they actually tried to fill in more time in. I felt.
Yeah, you could feel the length in the second half.
I've never had, it's only a 2-hour movie, but it felt like it was a bit more drawn out in the backstory parts of it.
Yeah, they definitely.
I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy! Like he's beating the dude up. This is insane." And then they slowed it down and then talked about they had a long sequence of just the backstory again. I feel like that part wasn't necessary, and I think they put that in there for time.
Just the only thing in that part that I thought was necessary was just them going over like how she was pregnant and then how she also was cured. Those two things I think they need to do, but they could have done it a lot quicker. They could have, I felt like they did kind of drag that out a little bit.
Yeah, which was interesting.
And then they also, I thought it was interesting, they replayed the scene at the beginning where she was being attacked by the psychopath. Yeah. And
that was interesting.
That was interesting how they did that, and I liked how they added more
the second time.
in different perspectives, but they did that, I don't know, they could have probably done that scene a little quicker too, where it's you don't have to show the whole thing.
Yeah, because nothing really. You already by the time you watched it, you already knew everything.
Yeah, and the only thing that revealed is that she told the killer that she was pregnant, but that could have they could have probably explained that.
They could have just flashed that back instead of walking us through the whole like time of events. I guess I think we were just like having watched this movie, we like knew what was going on the whole time. Maybe it was a way to recap what happened, but.
Yeah.
Again, I did feel like they were padding a bit at the end for time. I did feel like I was like, "Oh, interesting." We're
because of how quickly the first part happened. I remember commenting, "Wait, where's their what happened with their romance? What happened after that?" So they did. At least they did expand. They got married, and
that's true.
I did
so
like
that's
how
fair. That's
fair.
Did that. But it did for some reason it did seem slower. You could feel the padding a little bit in the second half, but what an interesting movie. It's not a comedy. It was definitely a very much a romance, but with a little bit of extreme serial killer psycho thriller vibes too, which was interesting.
I actually think it probably would have done better to have leaned more into one or the other. Again, I think you're kind of in this boat of...
Sure, it's a weird...
It straddled the line of romance and action movie, and I think if you would have actually done less romance, cut more of that out, I think it would have been a better movie because it would have felt more... Because if you're going to make it a romance, then you got to make it more romancy. But I think we kind of straddle a weird line on that one.
Yeah, and it was also just the romance, the way it was portrayed was just very, very oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was very.
Everything had a sheen.
It was very Hallmarky at points, which did definitely. That was a problem. That was a problem.
No,
it's just it's hard to be realistic.
That's where I feel like this movie should have just been an action movie and just have it be. The girl dies, and then let's more explore the dynamic between the killer and the hunter, kind of a thing. Sure. Like what I was saying at the beginning, like a cat and mouse more of situation. And instead, it also, and this is again, this is actually a big trope that it did at the beginning is having a big trope in movies is having the sweet girl and then the bad boy, and like kind of her sweethearting him into being a good guy, like Beauty and the Beast type. Like that is a very old trope.
For sure.
So I feel like that was an old thing. Obviously, they made it new with having a psychopath in the movie. I felt
mix.
like you could have done maybe more. I don't know, action. Have it more action, or have it more romance. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was. I would say, to sum it up, it was pretty uneven. Maybe
that's
would
a good
be
way
a
to put
good
it,
way to.
There
were individual elements that were pretty good.
Yep.
I think the only actor or character that stood out was the
villain.
The villain.
I think I like that uneven. That's a good word. I liked the how they time jumped.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. How they told stuff out of order.
Pretty well.
That was cool. It just was. I just felt like the way the idea of that is cool, right? I'm fine with time jumps, but I think it did feel a little bit out of place at points. So, but yeah.
Yep.
What do you guys think?
We should give our review.
Let's
give
our rating. Hot revs.
Yeah.
Guys, let us know. Follow our Letterboxd. This is where we rate all of these movies.
Yes.
And then you can follow our Patreon
Links
while you're
in the
at it, and subscribe and hit all the buttons and do all the things.
Yes, you can vote on movies like these. And
interesting, IMDb users definitely aren't super enthused about it.
Yeah, it's definitely in the middle. It's 6.6.
Yep.
All right, who's gonna start?
Who wants to start?
Who wants to start?
I feel like I need to start because I've been kind of hinting at my rating.
Yeah,
okay.
Ben, you've been pretty
Let's do. I'm gonna do a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a 3.5. I
really. And I'll do a 3.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's the most extreme. Okay. Wow. Okay. So
I like this movie quite a bit better than you guys did. I really like the beginning.
I liked it too. I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
I thought you hit the like button. That's the question.
I thought
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, so you hit a 3.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, yeah.
Hit the like
I've done that
button
before. It's like where you're just like, well,
it's
this, but then I don't
to me,
like
it's not
it.
a 3.5, but I did like it. I liked
Yeah.
it because I liked the idea of I liked how they went hard on the psycho.
Yeah,
we haven't seen really that.
They
much
didn't mess around. Yeah, he was a
I was
killer.
thinking of giving it a 3 up until the end because I liked how I liked the twist at the end about like how the psychopath
save a
like
life,
especially especially the very end where when he was attacking the psychopath guy and he's like, oh, just kill me, I don't care, and then suddenly he hears that his wife's about to die, and that whole twist, I thought that was really well done how they did that, and so that's why I bumped it up to
I bumped it to a 3.5 because literally the shots of him, when after he killed someone and was talking to them, those to me were so cool and cold. That's like crazy. A great way to build up a villain.
Yeah,
that's what the whole movie's about.
They did build the
you got
villain
the
really well.
They established his They did that a good job.
And I liked it.
Yep.
Well, I hit the like button.
We'll just end it on that.
All right, guys, hit the like button too.
We'll see you. We'll see you in the next one.